Hi guys, it's Deez. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you guys doing today? I hope that I'm not totally overloading you guys with content or bombarding you guys or bogging you down or anything like that. I'm just feeling really creative and I've written a few outlines and this might be my last one for the day, but it might also not be. So I think I'm a little high on the couch, so I'm gonna scoot down. So I think that's a little bit better of an angle. There we go. Let me get my lighting there. Okay. I just haven't worn my baseball cap in a minute, so I figured now would be the time. Okay, so I haven't really figured out what exactly I'm going to entitle this video yet, but I'll write down the temporary. I'll just tell you guys what I have written down as the temporary title, or what I think it may be. We'll see. You guys will know when you're watching this, because it'll obviously be posted there. Blonde moment, and I'm not even blonde anymore. Okay, so I just underlined it a bunch of times. There's a bunch of exclamation points and everything, but it says counterproductive ME YouTubers and then in parentheses with an agenda, and then agenda equals and a dollar sign, and the dollar sign is in bold font. If you want to check it out for yourself for a second, but yeah, no, and I have a few points that I want to get to, but basically what I mean about about some ME channels, and I don't mean anyone that I know personally, although all I'm going to say is 3 of these channels that I'm referring to about being counterproductive and their agenda being about the almighty dollar are actually subscribed to my channel. I'm subscribed to theirs. It's not that I necessarily think that what I don't think they're bad people, I just don't agree with what they're doing, and I think that it's damaging and harmful to our community, and I think it discredits it as well. And I think that I don't know. I think that whenever it becomes about the money and it becomes about the views and the success and the subscriptions, and that's what your content. I mean, that's the purpose of your content. When it gets to that level, then you know, I just okay. I'm trying to be as nice, as polite as I possibly can. It infuriates me whenever people like us, like you and I, that are actually affected and have residual proof and are hyper aware and sensitive to these sorts of things, and we share our stories and pour our hearts out and wear our hearts on our sleeve. And I can always speak for myself, but I mean, I just know that so many of you are really kind and very thoughtful and also really really sweet and generous, and I like to consider myself to be that way as well. And I just think that they're stealing from us, and they're stealing from us, not only not only just by our views in turn, giving them money and residuals that they get from in their PayPal account that they link up with their YouTube channel through Google, because Google owns YouTube now. But it frustrates me, and I've spoken personally to a couple of the people that these channels. I lost respect for them. I don't dislike them as people. I don't hate them. I don't hate anybody. I don't have a hateful bone in my body. But yeah, I don't respect them anymore, and I did. Especially one of these people's channels. Whenever this person subscribed to me, I was shocked because their channel was the one that the first video that I watched on there about the first video I ever watched, or the first time I ever heard the term Mandela effect, was on this person's channel. So for me to say that, it sucks, because I really had a lot of respect for this person and the work they used to do on their channel. But all the work that they do now is well, let me get to my first point, actually. Now that I have my pen going and I can't stop clicking it for some reason because I love that sound. But yeah, it's so frustrating because I had so much respect for them, so much. And if you're familiar with me and you know me personally, their their handle has a specific number in it, and it's shifted 3 or 4 times. That's all I'm gonna say. And 3 or 4 of you may know who that is, and maybe more, and that's fine. It's not about that. I'm not trying to call anybody out or hurt anyone's feelings. I'm just stating the obvious. I'm not the first person to notice this. I'm not naming names about anybody else I've discussed this with. I'm not going to do that. But there's no need to. But it's widely known. It's vastly recognized that the numbers. I mean, the views have gone down since the. But let me get to the first point. Okay, the first point is is reaching for logo effects. And in a previous video that I made earlier this morning, I had what's the word I'm looking for? I had insinuated that I had said that I was going to make a video regarding my opinions on misrememberings and logo effects and stuff, and this kind of went hand in hand with that, and that was what I was in that video is in this video right now that I'm making, and is in reference to the. It doesn't matter. I'm losing my. It doesn't matter. Okay, so what I mean by reaching for logo effects is whenever okay, yeah, there are obvious ones that really have changed. You know, the Ford logos and for me mobile oil it used to have an E for me, things like that, like legitimate ones, like ones that that are are legitimate and not reaching and not just for views and not just so your subscribers will be persuaded and swayed to be like, oh, that's right, oh my god, yeah, thank you so much for telling me, because you have 500,000 subscribers or 47,000 subscribers, so of course I'm going to believe. Why would this person make it up? Ask yourself. But and what I mean is by the reaching is really just that they'll talk about the font, just the font changing, and I mean, let's be honest, if it's not a spelling, if there's not a new letter in it, if a letter's not missing, if there's not parentheses or quotation marks, you know what I mean. I just all of a sudden it's bubble letters or this or that. That's marketing. That's strategy. That's just business. And whenever you say that, just because the font of, for instance, the Target's, just the letter the red Target logo, let's the red changed to a different shade of red. I'm sorry, that to me that's not a Mandela effect. To me that's just they decided to change the color a little bit, and that's not. And correct me if I'm wrong. Comment down below. I mean, I could be totally mistaken, but it just really upsets me when when there are very important ones that affect people's lives, and that's the one that you're going to focus on whenever you have that much of a following and you're that much of an influencer, and that's how you're going to spend your time. That's how you're going to spend your time. I mean, we all know why you're doing it. It's what happened to the genuine person that made that awakened me. You actually awakened me, and it's now you reach for these effects and you make our community look like you make us seem laughable. You make people laugh at us and point at us and say, oh, they're weirdos. Oh, yeah, they're affected. And, oh, that it's a mass. People think it's a misremembering because of people like you and because of content like that, and that's not right. And okay, point 2 is thinking that any underlined a bunch of times animal that they've never seen is a Mandela effect, immediately. And this one I've said before, I think in some Hangouts chats and stuff before, and maybe just some friends here and there. But yes, absolutely, there are some animals that have never existed in any reality that I remember. That's absolutely true, beyond a shadow of a doubt. But to say that just because you've never seen any animal, that you've never seen this animal before, that's not a Mandela effect. It's not. And if you're very awakened and you've been around the block a little bit and you've been a YouTuber for at least a couple months or around a month and a half, like I have, you know what I'm talking about, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's laughable, and it's just disrespectful, and it's also reaching for effects, and it's why would you do that? It's there's a difference between being awakened and just being totally brainwashed and thinking that the Mandela effect just means that because you forgot something, anything at all, anything in your life, that just because you forgot it, it's a Mandela effect, then you're not actually awakened, and you're doing our community a huge disservice. And I wish that, I mean, I wish you nothing but the best. I wish that you could be reawakened, or you could have a rebirth, or I don't know. I don't know if there's deprogramming for this kind of thing. If you can be reawakened, I have no idea. I just know for me that there's no going back. It's like, you know, I'm far past the tipping point. You know, like please. I mean, it's like I can't imagine not being awakened. Like this is it. Like I mean, but I mean, as you guys have, unless you're a new subscriber, and if you're a new subscriber, by the way, I think I have one or two more since my last video. Thank you, I love you so much for being here. But if you're not a new subscriber, you know that I don't reach for things on my channel. I never have. Like I'm brutally honest, and I don't say that to be like cocky or conceited or full of myself or vain or anything like that. It's absolutely true. I wouldn't be making videos unless I felt that I could be authentic, because being phony and everything being seeming scripted and a lot of edits here and there, and you know, just people not making eye contact with you and being shifty, seemingly shifty. I just I don't like that. And these are some of these people, you know, the channels that I'm referring to that reach for effects, you know, that's how they act now, and they didn't act like that before. And they used to be on camera a lot more too, which also makes me wonder like how much they're even involved in the channel. Like once it's monetized to a certain extent, once a YouTube channel is monetized to a certain extent, I wonder how much the creator is actually involved in the content. If that makes sense, I'm wondering that the deeper I fall down the YouTube Mandela effect, multiple experiencings rabbit hole. But point three, and I only have 3 points, so point three is lyrics changing from, in quotes, A to, in quotes, the, and etc. And by that I mean exactly what it means. What I said. It. I just. I think it. You know, mamas and the papas. You know. I get down on my knees and I begin to pray, changing to I pretend to pray. That's legitimate. You know, that's totally legitimate. Um, Sweet Caroline. You know, good times never felt so. I mean, don't, don't get me wrong. Like those are legitimate. I mean, completely legitimate. The Beatles song. I mean, you know, a little help from my friend. We all know the effect, and we all know how it used to go, and how it went in my birth earth. But it doesn't go that way anymore. I mean, you can't find it. You can't even find a live version. Yeah, I know. But so it once again it just discredits the actual effects. And I just because logo effects and animal effects and lyrical effects to me are the three most commonly discussed effects that are on YouTube or and just discussed in general, like amongst people that are awakened, not just YouTubers, just in the world, anyone that knows about the Mandela effect. And I'm sure that if you're hyper aware and you've been around the block a little bit like I have, you know, and been awakened for a while and have dealt with people in the community, you agree with me. But sound off in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with like certain YouTube channels being counterproductive and being all about the cha-ching. But once again, I'm Steez. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Like this video if you like what I'm doing. If you don't, dislike it. Either way, you know, it's still you know, no publicity is bad publicity, right? Isn't that what they say? But uh, and subscribe also. You know, I'm getting subscribers like crazy today, and I'm really flattered. And once again, welcome to my channel. I love you so much. Don't forget to ring the notification bell down below because I'm making videos like crazy. And if you like this kind of thing, then you'll be notified every time I do so. But until next time, Steezburger loves his what? Cheeseburgers.